What a hell of a film. It's hilarious.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
I feel
And
like
it reminds me, I'm just
Toscano and Leone, I feel like you guys should talk the mother country.
we should.
We're going to talk in Italian a little bit.
Yeah. That's a scene
Molto
from The
bene.
Godfather, by the way.
Yeah.
Uh, as I was going to say, I'm old enough to remember Mother Jugs and Speed, and I love this type of humor. It is just rollicking, and Rainn, what a great performance you did.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I remember Mother Jugs and Speed too, but this didn't have a bank heist. This is just the real, EMS workers.
Yeah, it's true. Christopher, this is a little bit different genre than what you're, usually known for, science fiction and horror and things like that. Is it something you've always wanted to do?
Well, I mean, I was just fascinated by the story when I first read it. My co-writer Patrick Pianezza was a real paramedic for 12 years and had written the first draft of the script, and it was just this kind of raw take on what being a paramedic really is, and it completely surprised me. I had no idea what the job really was like. It flipped a lot of my expectations upside down, and I became obsessed with it. And we worked on the script together for about like a decade, and so it was just a kind of a labor of love. Yeah, and like I said, the world completely fascinated me, and I think, like science fiction, it has its own rules and it has its own universe that no one knows about.
Playing Randy, I mean, Rainn, it's got to be just a joy because you're surrounded by great comics and comic actors.
Um, I can't tell you what a joy it was to play this character because the comedy took care of itself. It's his responses to scenes. It's, when in doubt, I just played it real and it was funny. And Chris and I talked about that a lot and he worked with me on it. Like, this isn't a kind of a role where I need to fabricate a bunch of funny. Sometimes you do a funny movie and you got to bring all your stuff because the script's not good. So you're just trying to throw everything in the kitchen sink in there to try and make it funny. This was not the case. But at the same time, the real life world of paramedics is one moment it's hysterical and you're playing kickball and and laughing and your shoe falls off and it's hysterical, and then the next moment someone's dying in the back of your ambulance, and that's the reality of EMS workers, and we wanted to capture that. So it tonally it definitely shifts between really high stakes and people just trying to get by. No one has a more gallows sense of humor than frontline workers.
It's true. I mean, this again, if we're comparing things, so much like MASH, the movie, because you're dealing with life and death situations, and yet you've got to have a sense of humor about everything, otherwise you go crazy.
Indeed.
Yeah. Talk to me, Christopher, a little bit about casting and getting all the right people for this. Was that a difficult task?
Well, I mean, it truly is a dream cast for me. I mean, Rainn was the first one aboard, and I was a huge Rainn Wilson fan long before this.
Say more.
Okay, all right, we can. So I loved him in 6 Feet Under. I loved him
Keep
in
going.
Super,
Keep
and of course,
going.
look, we all loved Dwight Schrute. Like that's one of the most iconic characters in TV history. And so I was just so when Rainn was aboard, I knew he had the capacity, the entire spectrum of like, look, he's obviously really hilarious, but that he had the depth to go from from the really funny scenes to the absolutely heartbreaking scenes, and that being a burnout paramedic he would make that funny. And actually, as he got burnout, he's funnier and funnier until he breaks your heart. So then pairing Rainn with Lil Rahowry,
Mm.
who's an absolutely hysterical comedian, and is hysterical in this movie, but then also has a couple scenes that are really rough and really dramatic. And I love that this movie, just like the real paramedic, that's the expression of a real paramedic's job is that. So it was really just trying to get the truth of that.
Yeah, and there's this great juxtaposition between the comedy and the drama in this. And Rainn, I gotta mention Jerry and Marge Go Large. I mean, that's one of my favorite
I
Rainn
love it. You
Wilson
guys are
movies.
going down my resume. I love it. Keep going.
And you have the ability to play evil, kind of bad guy, like in Star Trek, you did that. And again, I think out of your comedy comes some great acting chops that we forget how much of a great dramatic actor Robin Williams was, and I put you in that category. We as an audience, we're always shocked at how wonderfully dramatic you can be.
You're very kind. I'm here doing some press in New York City. This is where I trained as an actor, and I went to theater school. And when you're doing theater, one night you're doing a farce, the other night you're doing King Lear, and you got to train for all of it to be a member of a theater ensemble. And that's how we trained. I'm not trying to, ring my own bell, but the job of an actor is to transform and tell a story in whatever form that's needed. And I'm lucky enough to get to do that. About the thing about this script that's incredible is, Tony, it's really hard to write a good script, and it's really, really hard to write a great and funny script. And then to write a great and funny script and then make it actually about something, to have some meaning, to really like address, the American healthcare system and the underbelly of American kind of healthcare dysfunction, income inequality, race stuff, at the same time as being like a fun for the whole family popcorn movie. That is really the rarest of rare. And Chris and Patrick did an amazing job. And I'm so proud to be a part of Code 3. I truly, truly mean that.
Yeah, it blew me away. I mean, and I can remember seeing films that, Little Big Man and things like that that just always will sit with me, and this one will. And Chris, again, you did such a great job in putting all this together. Your camera was amazing. And I have to mention, the score for this is beautiful.
Yeah, Max Eberl did, I think, a really remarkable job. Some of my favorite parts is, part of the movie, we break the fourth wall, and he wrote these pieces that are made up of actual medical instruments, like beeps from electronic machines and like scalpel clinking. And so each piece is like a different, really ornate little thing. And one of them, actually, it's a montage about death that plays for laughs, but he drove it with a ticking clock. And I just thought that was such a genius way to write the music.
Yeah, I have to go. Our time is, I could talk to you for another hour and I should, but gentlemen, thank you so much. And Rainn, I'm a huge fan of yours and always will be.
That's very clear, Tony, and I really appreciate it.
Did I
And
grovel enough for you, or should
you
I?
did, but now you can make it up to me by just getting people to buy some movie tickets, get their butts in seats, and watch Code 3, right?
We will
Deal?
do that.
High
Thank you
five.
all. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Tony.
Bye-bye.